Welcome back. Singapore will pump in 740 million Sing dollars to boost its tourism sector over the next 5 years. The funds to be used to breathe new life into existing attractions and add fresh experiences. The continued investment rides on the back of last year's strong tourism performance. Now, 2025 was a record-breaking year as Singapore raked in $32.8 billion in tourism receipts. That's up around 10% on year and above forecast. This was despite visitor arrivals coming in lower than expected at 16.9 million. Now, top spenders came from mainland China, Indonesia, and Australia, while tourism receipts for long-haul markets such as Germany, the UK, and the US posted double-digit growth. Growth also especially strong in the meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions sector. Driven by major events, tourism receipts grew by more than 35% to reach $2.3 billion. Now, this year's tourism receipts are projected to come in between $31 and $32.5 billion, with 17 to 18 million international visitor arrivals. But the Singapore Tourism Board cautions that challenges like the ongoing energy crisis could dampen consumer spending.
To sustain visitor demand in this challenging environment, STB is expanding over 20 key trade partnerships across our top 10 source markets to capture greater consideration from potential visitors and accelerate bookings. This will see more than $20 million in total investments from STB and in-market partners. STB is also supporting the Association of Singapore Attractions in launching targeted marketing campaigns to drive visitorship to our attractions.
The Singapore Tourism Board will also launch a new $5 million fund to cut financial risks for firms to enter new markets. Existing schemes will also be upgraded to help local businesses innovate and bring unique concepts to Singapore. Beatrice reports.
Rollerblading, skateboarding and breakdancing. Basically any sport with wheels, flips or jaw-dropping stunts. This is Feast, the world's largest urban sports festival from France. Last year, it rolled its way into Singapore thanks to event tourism company Kin Global, which tapped on STB's grant.
Competition now is actually a lot more intense. So we cannot be staying still and wait for things to happen. We as stakeholders in the event tourism industry must actually rise to the occasion, go out, look for new experiences, bring them to Singapore, incubate them, test bed them, and if it's successful, right, this can be new, continuous, sustainable pillars of revenue for the business.
It's initiatives like these designed to attract high-value visitors that STB hopes to drive. Funding will now be boosted to $1 million per project, up from the initial $250,000. Besides boosting existing support, a new $5 million market access fund aims to help tourism players look beyond their usual markets and reach new visitors. This includes tapping into secondary cities within established markets like China and Australia as air connectivity expands with more direct flights linking Singapore to these smaller cities.
The support will go towards business development activities that stakeholders may wish to mount. So whether it is working with in-market partners to then open up new visitor segments, or whether it is deploying new marketing mix in how they would reach out to new target audiences in those cities or new markets, I think we are prepared to consider that.
Besides funding, STB is also building new developments to transform Singapore's greater southern waterfront skyline. Right in the heart of the city, in the Straits View area, plans are underway for the brand new downtown MICE hub. It'll house event spaces, accommodation and entertainment to elevate Singapore's position as a global MICE destination. A tender will be called next year with completion targeted around 2040. Over at Marina Bay, a new integrated cruise and ferry terminal is being discussed. It aims to boost maritime connectivity and could handle up to 1.5 times the passenger capacity of existing facilities. Nearby, a 4-hectare waterfront site will be home to the brand new wellness development, Therma. You can expect thermal pools, immersive botanical landscapes, and cutting-edge health technology all in one place.
at, I think, the future of tourism, it is not just for visitors, attracting visitors for visitors' sake, but also to make sure that the local population is able to benefit. It is right at the downtown core region, so it is readily accessible, has a great view of the sea, and I think more important, it complements the entire Marina Coast vibrancy for this tourism site.
Further along, plans for Greater Sentosa are also taking shape, with enhanced connectivity and a refreshed beachfront. The area will feature new attractions, hotels and experiences, including new developments at Brani West Zone.
New pop-up spaces and hotel concepts are also set to rejuvenate the Orchard Road shopping belt. And Ivy Chok tells us what visitors can expect next.
Orchard Road is one of Asia's most iconic shopping streets. But with every major city now competing for the same tourist dollar, more is being done to set Orchard Road apart.
One of the biggest changes you might see might be along this stretch between Wisma Atria and Ngee City. Container structures fitted with power and water will be built to become pop-up shops for brands. Up to 3 spaces will be available and each can be leased for 1 to 6 months at a time. The idea is to give local brands and labels new to the Singapore market a shopfront to one of the city's most visited streets.
We are trying to defray part of the risk of taking up a long-term lease within the mall, especially for new-to-market brands, or even maybe some of our local brands that may not feel ready to step into a mall. So this space gives them a relatively lower cost outlay to test market demand, to test new products, or to even try and see if they can gain sufficient consumer demand for their services.
Spaces will also be revamped, from Tanglin Shopping Centre to a former school site at 37 Emerald Hill.
To really help visitors get their bearings, creative structures will be installed to mark out the Tanglin, Orchard, Somerset and Dhoby Ghaut sub-precincts. This includes painting road junctions as well. But to really add more colour into Orchard Road, malls and hotels are invited to pilot new experiences.
Think artistic building exteriors, immersive retail experiences, and nighttime activities. The program will run for 2 years, with the best ideas potentially getting funding support.
How we will evaluate the projects will depend very much on how much the initiative is able to drive footfall as well as spend, and the kind of impact that we assess to have on the precinct. So again, it's really around how do we get people to come to the precinct, treat it as purpose of visit, and spend more time in Orchard Road.
The situation globally is fragile, and I think when it comes to trade, people are worried. However, I do think it's really important to understand that all these things are quite long-term goals, and we do need to plan now for it. So I don't think it's going to stop us from planning and from kind of getting these initiatives into play.
With all this in the pipeline, authorities say they will continue pushing the boundaries and transform the area to capture visitors.